Jason, I'm trying to not be rude. But we've had the intro glitch out for, months. It's been months, Jason. Can you just, it's showing like the blue screen of death. I don't know why you're using Windows 98. Can you just fix the intro? Okay? Can you just, I don't want people to think that I'm mean, okay? So I want the intro to play and then I'm nice, okay? So that was a good test run. We're live now, Jason. Oh, hey, that was just pretend. Welcome to the Perfect Podcast Show. I'm your host, Keith, and this is the Perfect Podcast Show on the USA Global TV and Radio Network, because it's a lot, and that's all the stuff about me. Look at that. Wow. What a show. Everything's perfect. Everything's great. The goal of the show is for me to make a perfect show, to make a perfect podcast. There's so many shows and so many podcasts out there, and I want this one to be perfect. I want just one perfect episode. So that way, history will tell us that there was once in 2024, a perfect podcast that aired. Because there's a lot of podcasts, there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of video casts, there's a lot of video blogs, vlogs, posts on the internet, all sorts of billions and trillions. I don't know how much, the number's huge. There's so much content out there, but how much of it is perfect? And that's why I, Keith, on the Perfect Podcast Show, want to make a perfect piece. I messed it up. Even when I was saying I want to make a perfect piece of content, I messed that up as well. Off to a great start on this episode of the Perfect Podcast Show. And again, you can call in, leave a message for us if you have any tips for the show. How can we be more perfect? If you have segments you want to see, you can call the numbers. I'll type it in here real fast. 818-392-4623. This is a real phone number. A real phone number that you can really call and really leave a voicemail. 818-392-4623. You'd think I'd have it memorized by now, but I don't, because that would be perfect. And I'm trying to make a perfect show, but I don't have it memorized. Maybe that's the first step in perfection, is for me to memorize my own phone number for the show. Anyways, call that number, 818-392-4623. Leave a message. We'll play it on the air. You'll give us some tips. We've been getting a lot of messages coming in, which is very, 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 very exciting. And we have a message right now that we're going to play for you. Someone who called and left a message. So let's play that first call. Hi there. Thanks for calling the Perfect Podcast Show. Leave your message and we'll play it on the air. How was that? Does that work?
My man, how's it going? Heavyweight champion, I'm Mike Tyson. I'm just taking a break from working out and getting Silverstone to call and say the perfect. This show is a real touchdown of the program. I know. I should have to knock out. I didn't want to, okay? Actually, I'm out right now.
That started off very exciting. Wow, the former heavyweight champion, Iron Mike Tyson, calling the show, but Mike, you sounded real stoned at the end there. I think, something happened there. You know, you get hit in the head a lot, and you smoke a lot of weed, and maybe your brain sort of goes off, which is what happened at there. And I didn't understand anything you said at the end, but thanks for calling the show, Mike. And I think you said you liked it. I didn't really catch that. But thanks for calling. That was exciting to see a voicemail from the actual real Mike Tyson. Yeah, you can call too. You don't have to be a former heavyweight champion or former current boxer who's making a ton of money. But you could just be anyone. Call 818-392-4623. Leave a message. Leave a voicemail. And we'll play it on the air. And that's what happens here on the Perfect Podcast Show. You know, it's all about the viewers, all about the people listening, the people enjoying it. This is all for you on the Perfect Podcast Show. And here we are in the real podcast show studio. Just got emotional thinking about Mike Tyson calling the show. Wow. Anyways, to keep the show going, we do have ads. This happens. Ads pay for things now. You get ad space, ad revenue. I'm still waiting for the revenue to come in. But, you know, it takes a lot to run the Perfect Podcast Show. These signs behind me alone, this one, and this one, they each were $40,000. So maybe I got ripped off. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But they cost a lot of money. So we got to have ads to keep the show going. And this is the Perfect Podcast Show. And we do have ads. So we're going to listen to one of those ads now before my guest comes on. Hey, do you wish you had more flies in your house? Well, come on down to Henry's House of Flies, and we'll get you flies to fly around in your house as if you had lots of fruit laying around, because we got flies for days. Hi, this is gonna sound weird, but I'll just say it. I'm you from the future. I've been able to hack in to this audio recording to tell you something very important. And I just need you to listen to me. I know this sounds crazy, but you just have to listen that whatever you do not have houseflies in your house. They seem like they're no big deal and they're real small. You cannot have houseflies. Houseflies are actually robots from the future that are trying to destroy humanity, okay? So whatever you do not get houseflies. Just please, I'm you from the future. I'm losing the please, just no houseflies. Houseflies, greenhouse flies, invisible houseflies that you can actually see, really, really big houseflies that you can ride around. Whatever you need, you can come on down to Henry's House of Flies and get your flies. Come on down and get them, because they're telling me that you need to get some houseflies. So come on down, we're open 24 hours a day, and we got plenty of houseflies for your home. Wow, houseflies. Get them, don't get them. We got a little error there. Someone hacked in or some, streams were crossed there. Something happened. So that, get flies. Henry's House of Flies paid us for that ad. So I would say get the flies. Don't listen to what other people say. Wow. Okay. Perfect Podcast Show. Here we are. We're still here. We're still on the air. We haven't been canceled yet, but we have an exciting guest coming up. We're going to learn a lot from this guest. We're going to hear all sorts of things from this exciting guest. This guest is a VC genius. That's right. VC genius. Now let's welcome to the Perfect Podcast Show for the first time ever, Rob O'Connor. Welcome to the show. Hello, welcome, VC Genius. Welcome to the Perfect Podcast Show. Thank you for being on.
You. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Kevin. I'm glad.
It's Keith. It says right. Can you see the screen? I'm Keith right there.
Yeah. No. I got you.
Okay,
I'm glad. I'm happy to be here at the Perfect Cast Poo Show.
Podcast.
Why don't you tell me?
Thanks. Okay.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the Perfect Cast Poo Show? I didn't have time to look anything up. What are you trying to do here?
So the Perfect Podcast Show. Again, can you see my screen? Because on
I can see. I can see your screen. I got a lot of. I have 17 screens in front of me right now.
Oh,
wow. I'm tracking all Bitcoin, Ethereum, the NASDAQ. I'm also tracking all of my NFTs. I own a lot of NFTs. Have you invested in NFTs?
I have not had. I was going to invest in one.
We'll talk about investing in it. You should. I have a couple that I have had an eye on for a long time.
Okay.
They're really doing well right now. Anyway, why don't you? Yeah. What's the point of this show? What are you doing?
Well,
there?
a few things, but yeah, I'll tell you about the show. One, I mean, first off, I can't let it slide. I thought NFTs were over. I thought it's like the bubble popped. It's done, right?
Oh God, Caden, listen. NFTs are just beginning. They are. It's the past. It's the present. It's the future. Look, I can't get into anything right now. I've been in the venture capital game for 7 months now, and I got to tell you, I made a lot of money the honest way when my great uncle died of autoerotic asphyxiation and left me a small fortune.
Oh wow!
And he was a very important man. And both of the Koch brothers were at his funeral. One of them's dead. They dug him up and brought him to the funeral. That's respect. That's the kind of respect that you can only buy.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm here to do you a favor. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Kingston, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm coming to invest in your show. I want to make this the most successful Perfect Cast Poo show in history.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I now know what a VC genius is. VC stands for venture capital. I just learned that. Wow. But yeah, I can tell you sorry about your uncle, but also congratulations.
Best thing that ever happened to him. Best thing that ever happened to both of us.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, Keith Carradine had a good. Was it Keith Carradine? Is that your uncle?
No, he is actually. I mean, he was one of my uncles, but no, it was his brother, Caleb Carradine, that died. He's the one who left me all of the money.
Wait a second. Have multiple Carradines died of auto asphyxia, erotic choking?
Weirdly, every Carradine has died of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Wow.
You'd think that some of them would stop, but
yeah. I mean that's what probably makes it more of a turn on. That's like, I really shouldn't do this because I really could die, but I just got to test the waters. And then that's what happens.
I'm not sure what it is. I've always assumed it was some sort of curse, like maybe one of them crossed like a witch, but it is. I mean, when one does it, that's a tragedy.
Yep.
Two does it. Well, that's a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
But we're going on 17. We're going on 17 straight members of that family that have died.
Yeah. I just don't do it. Unless
it does feel good. It does feel good.
Yeah. I imagine.
That's not why we're here, Carter.
No, again, it's Keith. Just wondering about those things. I like to get to know people before I pitch them.
Let me ask you this once again. What's the point? Why you gotta tell me why do I want to invest in the Perfect Cast Poo show?
I think. Wait, the point of autoerotic asphyxiation or
your show?
The show. Okay, different.
What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Kyrie?
Yeah, it's Keith again. Keith, it says on screen. But yeah, so the Perfect Podcast Show. I don't know if you caught the intro, if you were looking at another screen.
No, I was watching a YouTube video about Ethereum.
Okay, that's good. That's good YouTube video about Ethereum. So the Perfect Podcast Show, I'm trying to make the most perfect piece of content because there's a lot of content.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
Wrong. The only thing you're trying to make, Keith, the only thing you're trying to make is money. You are trying to make money for your investors. That is the only thing that matters. That's the only thing you're looking for.
You said my name right. This is great.
I've said your name right every single time.
I think the recording will show. It's live now, but
that is not what's important, Keaton.
Okay. Oh, there's now. Okay.
What I need you to do is I need you to think about the best way to make money off of this show. So look, here is how you make money. Here's how you make money.
Yeah, let's learn how we're gonna make money.
You cut costs and you bring up profits. That's it. It's easy. It's a 1-2 punch. It's like that. Have you ever heard of a guy? There's this boxer named Mike Tyson.
He called the show earlier in this episode.
What did he call it?
He called in and left a message for the show.
I don't have time for this. Okay. Look, I asked you what time it was, and you're telling me how the watch was made. That's not. Look at this right here. Do you know what that is? You know what that is right there?
What are you pointing to? You're pointing to multiple things. You're pointing to the wall.
Right here. This right here.
Yeah.
This. You see this?
That is a picture of a map.
It's not a picture of a map. It is a map.
Okay,
you know who has maps on their walls? Do you know who has maps on their walls? Questlove. Successful people.
Are you saying Questlove has maps on the walls, or you're calling me?
He probably does. He probably does have a map on his wall.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's successful, and successful people love maps. Napoleon.
Yeah.
Questlove. Other successful. That guy, the guy who invented the squatty potty. They all. I don't know him, but he probably has a map on his wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what does the map do? How does that help you become successful to have a map on your wall?
Look, I don't have time to go into all of this.
Okay, you
Buy
brought
a
it up.
map.
That's why I just,
Look,
brought it
that-
around.
That's the first thing you got to do, Carter. You got to buy a map.
Okay,
You got to you got to like, you got to know where everything is.
Yeah.
You're going to sell. You're like, what markets do you want to be big in? This one here? You know what that one is?
I can't really tell. That's
all right.
You're pointing to Canada?
Screen. Right now I have you projected onto my wall, 17 feet tall.
Wow.
Because I need to be able to see everything. By the way, you should get that mole checked out right here. Yeah, that one.
Thank you. Wow. So you have a projector, and like, where's the projector? This is fascinating. The projector's behind you, but you have screens all over. You really have a great setup there.
It's incredible. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my media setup, but
wow,
you have to spend money to make money. But also, you can't spend any money ever.
Right. But I have to get a map to be successful. But don't spend money. But I have to spend money to make money. And I have to spend money and keep profits down, and then I'll be successful. Okay, these are great tips.
Look, Candy, do you own, what IP do you own? Do you own IP? Do you have any IP that you personally own?
I have an IP address that my internet gives me for the show. Perfect podcast show. Again, it's not poo.
Look, do you know what? Like, I'm not talking about your IP address. Okay. Do you know what IP stands for?
Internet personality.
No, not internet. It stands for industrial production.
Industrial product. Intellectual.
No, I'm sorry. It stands for intellectual property.
That's right.
Intellectual property.
Right.
Okay. Those are mines that you own. Okay.
Okay.
Look, I secured the rights to a little known comic book called The Incontinent Ranger. Have you ever heard of it?
The Incontinent Ranger. I have not. Is that a Marvel or DC?
I don't know that what you're talking about. But all I know, people want comic books. They want to make things out of comic books. So I bought a comic book. I went down to the store and I bought one.
That doesn't mean you own the rights to it. That means
I own it. I've got it. I have it right here. You see that over there? That's a bookshelf. I've got a comic book in it. You want me to? I can show it to you if you want.
I mean, no, I believe you bought a comic book.
Good.
I do believe that. It doesn't mean you have.
You know what, Kyle? I'm not a liar.
Okay.
Never been a liar. I'm not going to start lying now.
Okay, that's good. Wow. Okay, we got a comment. This is a great episode. Kenneth, as close to perfect as you can get. It's not Kenneth. It's Keith. It says on screen.
Wait, who's Keith? Where is he? Also, do you have a second person on the show? Look, all right, Kenneth. Look, Kenneth. First thing you got to do is you got to fire this Keith guy. Okay, we don't have room for him.
Okay, that's me. I'm Keith. I'm the host. It's just me. Then there's Jason, who's my tech guy, who's messing up a lot, but he's my cousin, so I got to help him out.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Nepotism is the fastest way to the top.
It is, which is why, I mean, if I'm Keith, if I was Keith Carradine and I didn't die, maybe I'd at least have enough money for a map.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't.
Sometimes you can find them in the garbage. That's where I found this one.
Carradines or maps?
Both.
Oh, wow. Carradines.
It depends. Look, it depends on where they want to get off.
That's true. So how can I keep my profits down? I have this studio, it costs a lot of money. I've internet. That's the only IP I have.
You gotta sell everything. You gotta sell everything and make nothing. Sell everything and make nothing. Do you know David Zaslav? I don't know. Runs Warner Brothers. He's a good personal friend of mine.
Wow.
Has the puffiest vest of any man I've ever seen. His vests are so puffy, he looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but rich. Okay.
Okay.
We went on a retreat to Montana.
Oh.
To Montana, which is both the poorest and richest state at the same time.
Wow.
It's where everyone there either lives in a shack or lives in a mansion. And that's the way it should be.
So there's no in between. Then there's no
nothing
middle
in between
at all.
In between, there are cows. That's it.
Okay.
Anyway, me and David Zaslav, we went to Montana. We went fly fishing. We didn't have a boat. We just went on his vest. He just took his puffy vest.
Oh, it's really a puffy vest then.
Yeah, it's the puff. I'm telling you, it's the puffiest vest.
It's a boat. It's a boat vest. Okay. Wow.
You could throw the man out of a plane as long as he's got that vest on. You just land. You'd be totally fine.
Wow. Nice.
Anyway,
got to get me one of those vests.
It's buddy, you are a long way from getting one of those vests. Okay, you don't even have a map.
I mean, I'm not going to buy it.
1 foot in front of the other. Okay.
A puffier vest means wealth. Is so map puffy vest.
It doesn't mean porth, right?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway, so we were out there. Fly fishing. I don't know if you've ever been fly fishing before.
I don't have a map or a vest, so no, I have not.
Exactly. Now you're getting it. Now you're catching up. Look, we were out there. He gave me the best piece of advice that anyone's ever given me. I was engaged at the time. And he looked at me, he said, Rob, here's what you have to do. You have to cancel your wedding. Use it as a tax write-off.
That was the best piece of advice. Use your wedding as a tax write-off.
Listen, Care Bear.
It just seems like you're doing it on purpose now.
No, what? Doing what? Listen, you're not paying attention. I saved at least $20,000. I lost that money, but then when I wrote it off on my taxes, I still didn't have it, but I didn't have to pay that in taxes. So the year before I had paid all that, but then this year when I wrote that off on my taxes, I made more money. So anyone who looks at my tax return this year thinks that I made money when I actually made nothing. So that is venture capital.
Is just figuring out loopholes to not make money, but make it look like you have a puffy vest.
Oh, buddy, now you're getting it. Now you are playing with maps.
And you put a map up here, and if you got a map, you know where to go. Buy comic books. That's an IP.
How much did those signs cost you? How much did each of those signs cost you?
I forget what I said earlier, but I think 40 grand each.
40 grand each?
Yeah.
Tax write-off right there.
Great.
Right there.
Each one's a tax write-off. So and then that will make it look like I made more money this year than last year, even though I made zero money because Mike Tyson calls but doesn't give us any money.
Mike Tyson is a great boxer. Loves NFTs.
Yes, it's right. Is this just a fact, or is there a point to you saying that?
Look, there's a lot of points. There's a lot of facts. There's a lot of points. The point is that what I need you to do is I need you to figure out how to sell everything that's behind you. Sell every single thing that you own. Those headphones, that microphone. That is the least puffy microphone I've ever seen, by the way.
I know. The puffy one costs too much. So I got the cheapest one I could until we can.
No. Spend the money and then sell it and write off the loss. Ah, God. Okay, you know what? This is like talking to a wall. So
spend a lot of money, but don't buy anything, and make sure you're selling it in that way. You don't make money, but also make profit, but don't buy anything. Am I close?
I mean, you're not far. Look, it's like I'm working with nothing here, but that's okay. I do want to make this into a much better poo show for you. Okay. In fact, like what we were talking about IP here. Do you have what about that cartoon Scooby-Poo? You could do that. That's synergy.
Scooby-Doo, definitely owned by someone else, and I'm a podcast, so
it says Poo Show on your sign.
Okay, so it's a
synergy.
D.
Do you know what synergy? Do you know what synergy is?
It's like stuff coming together.
Yeah, it is kind of like stuff coming together, but really, it's about taking two things that aren't the same, and then, like you said, bringing them together. Yeah, it's taking stuff and putting it together. Look, there's a lot more to it than that, Kendall. But it's how often do you eat?
Same as anyone else. Breakfast, a lunch, a dinner. No, I was thinking you're gonna say that's wrong. I think the answer should be I should buy a lot of food, return it to the store, write it off, and don't eat it at all.
Here's what you do: you don't even return it. Just buy a lot of food, then hide it so that no one can have it.
Oh,
you write that off
and hide it. Okay, not just throw it away. So like hide it. It's gonna go rancid. It's gonna smell.
Like, yeah, just let it rot. Just take it and put it away somewhere where no one's ever going to see it. But make sure they know you have it. Make sure they know you have a lot of food. You have a lot of things that you could be eating. But
so like hang the receipt on my door so people know, wow, this guy bought a lot of food.
That's exactly right. Those are assets.
Okay. So you've been doing this for 7 years, you say, and
no,
these
7 months. 7 months.
7 months. 7 months. Sorry, 7 months.
My uncle passed away 7 months ago.
Again, sorry about that.
Best thing that ever happened to him. Best thing that ever happened to me. Best thing that ever happened to him.
That's right.
You know what he was doing? You know what he was doing with his money?
I don't.
He was not much. Just he was like doing charities. Yeah, he was doing charities.
Oh, that's nice of him, though.
He used to do the March of Dimes. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
I don't either.
Oh.
I know it's a charity though.
Wow.
I saw it when he gave it to me. He wanted me to be on the board for the March of Dimes. I was like, I don't like marching. Who uses dimes anymore? What am I going to do? Call someone on a payphone? I don't think so. All right.
So 8 months ago, how was? Well, 8 months ago, how was your life different than it is now? I mean, 7 months, it seems like a lot of it has changed for you. You're buying food, you're hiding it, you're buying maps.
Yeah, those aren't cheap. Those are not cheap.
So 8 months ago.
Well, 8 months ago, I didn't have this baby. I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I had never met David Zaslav. I'm wearing a vest now, but it's not a puffy vest. I had got to earn that. You know, I got to earn my stripes.
Yeah.
Just buy a puffy vest.
Yeah. I mean, part of me, you say you have a bunch of screens, but there's a projector up. You have that map over there. And this was 7 months ago. I don't mean to be rude, but I kind of don't believe any of this. It seems like you're just sort of like talking and you don't actually have all this wealth and all this knowledge, like you say, but you like talk a big game. I mean, again, don't want to offend you, but just sort of sounding like it's like a lot of that. And you bought a comic book, but that's not an IP, but you said, yeah, it is.
Listen, Kirk, I can't, first of all, don't worry about offending me. You can't offend me.
Okay, great.
You're so far beneath me like anything you say to me is utterly meaningless.
Okay.
Right? It's sort of like, can you be offended by a beetle or a boll weevil? No.
Okay. So I'm one of those. So yeah.
Yeah, because do you know what you have in common with a boll weevil?
I don't.
You don't own any NFTs. That's you have lots of NFTs. I have 37 NFTs.
And Ethereum and Bitcoin and fly fishing. Okay. But
I do a lot of
8 months ago, none of it. So you just
8 months ago, I worked in a hospital like a loser.
Well, people work in hospitals,
are all losers. Everyone who works in a hospital, except for the insurance people, they are not losers. Everyone else who works in a hospital doesn't get it.
So what happens when you go to the doctor? Do you just call your doctor a loser?
Oh God, I have not been to a doctor in 6 months and 29 days. He won't let me come over anymore because I kept calling him a loser.
Oh wow, that's great. Okay, so yeah, Perfect Podcast Show is trying to make money. You say you know what you're doing. I'm going to trust you on that. I think maybe you don't, but it was great having you on the show, and I think we learned a few things.
If I didn't know what I was doing, would I be able to solve a Rubik's Cube?
Well, it could have already been solved. You could have bought it that way and never mixed it up, for all I know.
That's ridiculous.
But if you have one piece of final advice or something that you can give us, I, for one, would love to be.
Hello? Did you go somewhere? Oh, God. Look, if anyone's still watching this horrible poo show, I just want you all to know you can find me at Sketchbean for all your financial advice. That's all I have to say. I'm going to go look at this map. It's South America.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I find I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, BS.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we have evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.